everybody, my name is Kenpoluke and welcome back to my channel, Kenpoluke Self-Defense. And in today's video, I just got a nice little weapon here, found online, and I was pretty excited about it. Still am. It is the Star Super B. That's right. It's made by a Spanish company. They went out of business in this is like the mid-90s, early 90s, somewhere in there, like 92, 95, somewhere in there. But this is, as you can see, very much like a 1911. Now, it does have some differences, of course, but I kind of like this a little better than the 1911 as far as takedown is considered. It's a little bit easier. But this is a 9mm. Now, this is the Star Model Super B. There is the Star Model A, the Star Model B, and then the Super B. Now, the Star Model A and B use a 9mm Largo. Now, that is just a hair. The case is just a hair longer than on a 9mm Luger. But I found out a little piece that I didn't know. You know, some things you just don't know. You know how much simple it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys, the 9mm Luger is actually the 9mm Parabellum. Didn't know that. Back when they started making the 9mm Parabellum, they were making it for the 9mm Luger, and it just kind of adopted the name over the years to the 9mm Luger instead of the 9mm Parabellum. But this uses the Parabellum, or Luger, and it does have an 8+1 magazine. Now, it's very hard to find parts for these now. You still can, they're out there. The magazines you can find, they're about 30 to 40 bucks, so I ended up buying a second one. And as you see, it does have a beveled magazine well here, so it's just kind of nice. Magazine goes in fairly easy. It is the same length and height of a 1911. It is thinner than a 1911 though. That is one case. This is all steel construction, man. The only plastic on this whole thing are these grips. That's it. And even then, I got new ones coming because, like I said, they're hard to find parts. You cannot You cannot use 1911 grips and stuff on this because it is different. Now, as you can see, now just for safety's sake, I can show you guys empty magazine, nothing in the round. Or in the chamber, so. Because now I'm going to point this thing on my face so you can see the sights. So, as you see, I don't know how well you can see that right now, but these are non-adjustable sights. It does have the white dot in the middle, though, which is nice. That is one of the upgrades from the B to the Super B, is they put the little white dot there. Now I'm going to put a little dot right there, too, just to kind of line them up, and so you can see that front sight better, get a better sight picture. It is single action, just like a 1911. Now, here you have the slide lock here. You have the magazine release here, right there. This here's your safety. You know, once you got it cocked and ready to go, carry it just like a 1911. Put that on. So, I mean, some don't have that, but this one does. It does have about a 6-pound trigger, which ain't bad, because, you know, it's single action. I mean, who really cares? As long as it doesn't have a 14-pound single action trigger. And as far as differences of the 1911, the trigger is different. It looks the same, doesn't it? But it's on a hinge, so it actually tilts back and up. Well, let's see if you can see that. I can see it, but there, see how it's tilting back and up? A 1911 will go straight back. So that is one difference from this than the 1911. As you see, the plunger channel here isn't there. It doesn't have that. On this side, this is your takedown lever. This is your extractor. And one thing it does have, which is kind of neat, is when you put a round in it, that little thing raises up right there. It has a round indicator in it. And it's supposed to be red there. And it is. But it gets worn off with years, so you can always put some more paint or something on it. But yeah, it's got a nice little round indicator. Not bad for being a 1972 firearm. Now, to give a little backstory on the Star Super B, it was made in Spain. The Model A and the Model B were made in the World War II era, and since Spain was kind of a neutral side, but Germany had helped them previously, they were making firearms for Germany. So these were actually used for the Axis powers in World War II. So that's kind of neat. I mean, granted, it was the wrong side, but hey, still cool. But this is made in 1972. The Super Bs came out after World War II. So the Model B and the Model A were in World War II era. Which, you know, this thing's been used. You can tell it's got, you know, a couple gouges here, scratches there, you know. But I kind of like it. It shows that it's got character. And this is, one thing I like about this than like most 1911 nowadays, this is made for actual military use. This thing will work on you no matter what. I mean, I'm granted 1911s are great weapons and stuff, but if they're not mil spec, you know, then they're gonna fuck up on you at some point in time. This thing's built to last and built to be used. So I picked this up for about $268 off a gun broker. There was a company, Robertson Trading Post, I think is the name of the place. They ended up getting a lot of them and were selling them. Now, I did get it and cleaned it up best I could, took it apart, and, you know, kind of lubed it up. Whoever used it before had used grease, and I don't like the grease. I use Ballistol, so I went ahead and cleaned it really good with that and lubed it up nice. So, but I'm going to go ahead and go through the takedown process with you guys. So, oh yeah, as far as the back strap, you know, it doesn't have the spring on here. This is not removable or anything. It's got it is serrated right here, and it's front on the flat on the front here, and then of course you got their standard grooves there. So, but yeah, it's a nice firearm, and for it being firing a 9mm, and being all steel, this thing handles the recoil like nothing. So it's almost like you're shooting a BB gun. So, alright, let's get into the takedown process. Alright. Okay, now you see we got the firearm in front of us here. Once again, it's still empty. Oh, I did forget to mention that this does have one thing that most 1911s don't. And that is a magazine safety. So this thing will not fire if the magazine's out. That's kind of nice. But first thing you want to do is take that magazine out. Alright, let's get that magazine out of there. Now, it does have this little plunger right here. Right there. You want to push that down and then move the... let's see here. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. There's two ways you can actually do this. I like to do it this way because it's easier on the internal spring. If I can get this friggin' thing to do it though. Alright, press down and to the right. There we go. Alright, if you do it this way, it's easier on the spring, because if you take, well, I'll just show you. Alright, now take it easy and bam, there's your sleeve there, your barrel sleeve, and then see a spring here there. And as you can see, it doesn't have the guide rod in it. It just has the end and another end cap on the inside. But if you take it apart this way, it's easier on the spring. If you take it apart the other way, when you take off the slide, the spring can actually pop out at you. And so for safety's sakes, you're better off doing it this way. But that goes on just like a 1911. And that won't come out now yet. But now you take down your takedown lever. Oh, whoop, wrong side, huh? Yeah. Come on. There we go. There it is. And then this slides right off. And then that's your assembly. See? Now, here's your spring. You take that out now. Like I said, that doesn't have a full-length guide rod. Now, as you see, the guide rod only goes so far. Now, one thing I do like about this, though, is right here. It's got your groove that fits on the barrel, and this fits right over the barrel. So you want to take your ballast all, or lube or cleaner or whatever, and then spray right around here. That way when it's sliding on the barrel, there's less friction. Now here's your barrel. It slides right out. It's supposed to anyhow. Come on now. Don't be a dick. There we go. And there's your barrel. Now on the Model A and Model B, let me get my pointer. On the Model A and Model B, it has a hinge right here. On the Super B, it does not have that hinge. So if you have a hinge there, you have a Model B and not a Super B. And then it's got the serrations here that fit inside right here. And it keeps the barrel. But I use a bore snake. You can use one of these kits here, but I use a bore snake. And just spray down in here. Use your bore snake, clean it out. This is actually clean, so I'm not really going to go through the process with you guys. But go take your bore snake through a couple times and make sure it's all good to go. And then what I do is I lube here, here and here on the barrel. That way, when the mainspring is sitting here, or not the mainspring, but the recoil spring is sitting here, and it gets less friction here, sliding in the sleeve and right here. And then spray down this whole piece here, clean it out real good. Make sure it's good to go, nice and lubed. You see the grease lube all my hands. Like I said, it's a mil-spec weapon, so it's kind of like an AR in a way. Grease is a good thing, but not too much. But there's your extractor. It's kind of a nice little weapon. I like it. Love shooting it. And then here, the first thing I did here was I took this out. This is still kind of stiff, but you pull this out and there's going to be a little spring down here you got to be careful of. And you take that out and make sure that spring, there it goes. As you can see, there's a little spring there. That comes right out one way. And you just clean up this area here, make sure it's all lubed to go. And I find that it's a little easier to operate this safety, because when you got this thing cocked and in a holster, you want that safety on. But this goes in one way. And just put it back in and press down. But there we go. So, and what you want to do is just lube it up here in the hammer area, and then make sure this is cleaned and lubed too. After that, you just reassemble the firearm. Get that damn. Alright, hold on. Gotta get the hammer back. Hammer doesn't want to go back right now. Come on now. Alright. But anyway, I'll do that later. You sure you have your magazine out? This here, barrel goes in. Come on now. Wait. What am I doing? Thinking like this is one of my other firearms. There we go. Goes in from the front. Then this here. Put your bushing in. Make sure everything's lined up. And then you put your recoil spring in. And you just got to kind of work it. And remember that groove. Make sure your barrel's all the way back. And that fits right down in there. See? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, huh? It fits right inside that groove. Oh, and as far as your lube, make sure your rails are lubed. And it just slides back on. Takedown lever. And you're good to go. So, that's it. Pretty simple. Like I said, I like the weapon. It's heavy. It's like 36 ounces. But like I said, it takes that recoil from a 9mm like nothing. So thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. It helps me put myself out there. But as always, show me some love, show me some hate, but show me something. Either way, I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out, and happy shooting. That's a good weapon right there. Made for the ages.